Today is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. It's a nice green day for me. I made $2.18 worth of profit ratio. I took 45 trades. I went green on 30 of my 45 trades. So not my best level of accuracy, um, but I've done much worse. So not much to say there. I gave myself a B minus for the day as I went and wrote down my summary on my report card for today. I noted that I sat on my losers a little too long today. My average loser was 15 cents. I had 15 losers, and my biggest loser was a 59-cent loss. That was just something that was happening quickly, and I should have just bailed on it right away. Instead, I kind of sat on it thinking maybe it would make the right swing, and it did not. So that was me being stubborn. I've got to get better at avoiding those. If I take that one loss away, everything drops down by 30 or so percent. So my total and my average losers would have been much less. But it happened, so you got to write it down, and it is what it is. On the winner side, again, my average was 15 cents, so I was right the same spot on my size for winners and losers. I just happened to have more winners. So the accuracy paid off today. And not that it's any kind of crazy high level, but that 67% was enough to keep me on the green side for the day. That being said, I did run out of settled cash just after 8 a.m. and around 8:10, the ticker ULY took off, and it went from like $3 to almost $9. I was actively watching it. I was kind of pretend trading. I took notes on when I would buy and when I would sell. Um, Again, that's just writing down with a pen. I didn't have any way to really justify. I was trying to be realistic about where I would have possibly gotten filled and figuring for any sort of slippage. But either way, that ticker went without me, and it was probably the best looking ticker that I've seen for my style in a few days. And I didn't get to trade it, but on my pretend trading, I did really well on that as well. So a little confidence boost there, and it would have made my day look much better as well. I think I took like 9 pretend trades on it on that $6 swing, and the first trade I took that I gave back money on was on the back side of the move after it kind of topped off around $9, and I told myself to be done at that point because it was starting to tickle the opening bell, and I had already had a nice cushion on the day, and I've told myself if I've developed a nice profit ratio before the opening bell, then I'm just going to be done at that point and not risk messing anything up with the volatility of the market open. So that being said, I got to trade a lot this morning, and then I had to pretend a little bit. And either way, that's life. Um, but give myself a B minus. Could have been a lot worse. I did pretty good. Again, I just gotta get better at having good losers. I've had a lot worse losers before, of course, but um, there's no need for me to sit on a trade and let it go 15, 20. That one trade was 59 cents. That's just something I've got to get better at, and I know I can do that. I do it more often than I don't, but it's just something that I've got to make part of my bread and butter. So not too bad of a Tuesday morning. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's going to be my first morning after working a night shift, and then Thursday will be kind of my turnaround day. So I don't know that I'll trade Wednesday or Thursday morning. Um, Thursday morning on that turnaround day, I always say that I want to try and trade, and then I haven't traded at all for several weeks on that day now. So, we'll just kind of see how that morning goes. But I anticipate just skipping it and that being part of the normal grind for me for now on, just accepting that as a no trade day and moving on, trading 3 days a week. So that's my week. So far, so good. And hopefully there's some nice momentum on Wednesday, Thursday without me. All right. This is where I made several of my moves in the pre-market session on Tuesday morning. Ticker ZMB 1 minute chart. And my biggest loss actually came right in this single candle right here. We started having a breakdown, and I got in thinking we were going to hold 650 here. This candle didn't really quite hold up, and next thing you know, we're down below $6. Um, it happened quickly. I wasn't really expecting it to happen as quickly as it did. What I was hoping for is I would get in the 640s and would kind of bounce back up to 655 or something like that. I'd snipe 7 or 8 cents and then let it keep falling down. But it pretty much went all the way down below 6 without me. That was my biggest loser, and I lost 59 cents per share on that move. I did make up quite a bit of it. My best trade came just a few moments later. I got in for the move back up through $6. I made a 35-cent winner, getting in the 580s and getting out above $6 to kind of clean up part of that big loss. So I'm proud of the way that I took that 59-cent loss. I didn't get angry or upset. I just took it and moved on, knowing that, yeah, it's way bigger than I would have liked. And I wasn't writing it down at the time, but I knew it was somewhere in the range of 50 cents a share. And I told myself I can make that up with just, 3 or 4 baseline trades, just a dime here or there. If I make a dime 3 or 4 times, that's most of that trade. And usually the trades that I try and make a dime on, if I'm really nailing my timing, a lot of times I can get 12 or 15 cents out. So there's a good chance I can clean up that 50-cent loss in 3 or 4 trades. So there's no point in getting too worked up over it. So I held my composure and I traded the backside cleanly. I don't take nearly as many trades on the backside of these moves, but I do kind of still hit those $half-dollar, whole dollar marks, and usually they work out pretty well. Of course, this one didn't, but then it did just a few moments later for that $6 mark. So I think I'm going to kind of continue shooting for them. I got to be better at getting out sooner once I realize that it's not going to hold the level I think it's going to hold.